I turned a $5,000 investment into $25,000. In this video today, I'm going to show you how and why I did it to hopefully help you guys in the future with your personal investments. So the project I'm talking about today, the one that I turned $5,000 into about $20,000 for over the course of 3 to 4 to 5 days, is actually Tykes from a creator called Ryan Panetta. So Ryan actually gave a bunch of different communities a pre-sale link to his collection where you could mint these and then claim them, I want to say about 20 days later. He gave my group Vinland a pre-sale link, so we were able to get access. He also gave a bunch of other communities pre-sale links, and they basically sold out entirely during the pre-sale, and then you could claim your NFT later in that month. So one of the main things that I looked for was you could purchase it not just with cryptocurrency, you could purchase it with credit cards as well. So there wasn't as big of a barrier for like the normal Web 2 person to get involved with this collection. It is also very real estate heavy, real estate specific. Ryan is also big on real estate on his socials, and we'll talk about that later on in the video. But the credit card, I think, was a big thing for me. Just less friction, less of a barrier there for people to enter this collection. And if you're using a credit card to buy an NFT, if you don't have a MetaMask wallet, you don't have Ethereum, you don't have cryptocurrency, you're potentially a little bit newer into this space. So potentially there's something there in terms of, hey, maybe you don't know how to claim your NFT, maybe you don't know how to list your NFT, maybe you don't know how to sell your NFT, etc. So that might help factor into the floor price, which is definitely something I considered moving forward. I'm going to break down 5 or 6 reasons as to why I decided to go through with this purchase, even though $5,000 is a ton of money. There's definitely NFT collections out there that have minted for much less, but had a lot of these same green flags that ended up doing really well. So in this video, I want to talk about why I decided to do this in a bear market, and hopefully you guys can use this to help invest in stuff in the future that has some more high liquidity plays behind it. All right, so the number one reason that I decided to invest in this collection at $5,000 was Ryan Panetta is a Doxed founder. So he has a ton of different socials. He's active on all of them. He's very well known, and he definitely has staked his reputation, at least partially, on this collection. So Doxed founder, I think that's super important. There's accountability there, there's reputation stuff there, there's legal stuff there. There's a lot of reasons as to why you'd rather invest your money into a Doxed founder versus an anonymous founder. So one of the other reasons is just being a Doxed founder in general allows you to look into their past business ventures, their past investments, and all of that stuff. So the biggest thing for me was this collection, Tykes, is all about real estate and building up a real estate portfolio and networking with people in the real estate ecosystem and getting access to events that have relation to real estate. And Ryan, Doxed, very big on real estate, has a big real estate portfolio, has made a ton of money in real estate, has proven that he has been able to flip houses and make adjustments and make improvements and gut a house and improve the house and all of that stuff. So if you take into account what this NFT collection was all about, and then you look at the Doxed founder and you compare the two, there was a lot of correlation there. And with his expertise with this collection, I think it made a lot of sense. All right, so the number 2 thing on the list today is attention. And attention is huge in the NFT ecosystem. So basically, if you have attention, attention is currency. Attention is greatly correlated to floor price because people want to get in on where the volume is. People want to have confidence in their secondary purchases, in their mints, etc. So the biggest thing for me was Ryan had a ton of different social media handles. I mean, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, YouTube videos, basically every social medium that you can think of, he was active and had a loyal fan base on. So what does that do? That equals attention. Attention equals potential purchases, potential floor price increases, potential confidence in investors. It also just means he has so much room to market collections with. So Doxed founder, plus this attention, plus all these social media handles, very Web 2 real estate focused, money, finance, etc. There was a lot here that gave me the confidence to put in this amount of money because look, if he was passionate about this project, which is one of the points that we will talk about later on in this video, he's going to promote this project in all his different social mediums. So TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the different short mediums. There's so much there. And I really think if you have this outlet, if you have this attention, it's going to greatly help any project that you try to start. So I think with all the attention that this founder has been able to garner over the years of being part of the social media game, that could very well justify this mint on its own. own because there's just so much room there and so much marketing material there. That's the second large reason as to why I decided to invest in this project. So the third reason I decided to put $5,000 into Tykes was because of passion. And I think passion is super important when it comes to a creator looking to build a business, looking to get involved in a certain venture. And for me, real estate was basically a huge part of Ryan's portfolio, a huge part of his narrative, his passion, and Tykes was basically a Web3 version manifestation of that. And if you think about it, if someone has a ton of experience in real estate and they decide to make a Web3 project that's all about real estate and they stake their name behind it, chances are they're going to promote it, they're going to make some really cool utility around it, they're going to potentially introduce you to people inside their Discord that have connections to real estate things. So founder, attention, passion, all of the stuff, incredibly important. And to me, I think it just goes hand in hand, right? If you're a founder and you're passionate about something, you're going to want to do a good job at it. So I think that was just another reason as to why I decided to ape into this project. And for me, it was a no-brainer. He's passionate about this one thing that has a ton of experience in, and that's going to bleed on over into his NFT collection that hopefully he decides to really promote and put his name behind. So the next point on this list today is engagement. And what I saw over across all of his social media handles was he's there every day on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, YouTube long form, podcasts, etc. There was so much there, so much engagement. His Twitter account, just being involved in the Web3 ecosystem was a large green flag for me. And I think if you combine all of these things, being engaged with the community, being engaged in Web2 and the things that he wanted to bring into this Web3 NFT collection, I think proved to be a huge green flag for me personally to be able to invest a large sum of money into this collection, given the fact that the engagement was there, the social media platforms were there, the loyal fan base was there. The last point for me is understanding Web3 culture and catalysts. And what I mean by this is, what does it take to get people's attention in the Web3 space? What does it take to improve your floor price? Because whether you like it or not, the floor price of an NFT collection has a ton of weight behind it. So if you talk to somebody and you say, hey, this is my NFT collection and it's 0.01 floor price, or you talk to somebody that says, hey, this is my NFT collection and it has a 1 ETH floor price, who are you potentially going to take more serious just at face value, super superficial? If you're me, I'm probably going with the 1 ETH floor price. I want to know why holders are willing to sell it for so much money. Why are people willing to list it for so much money? There's a level of confidence there in that investor to not undercut the floor, to not just completely bail and get out of the project. There has to be something there. So for me, there was a bunch of things in this project that they did right. So it was like, buy X amount of tokens, like 5 or 20 of them, and you get this perk or this perk. And they also had staking, which means there's going to be a ton of supply taken off the OpenSea market. So if you combined staking, which reduces supply, you combined an airdrop and a snapshot, and you combine the fact that they were basically inducing FOMO and saying, hey, look, if you buy 5, you get X. If you buy 20, you get X. All of that to me was basically green flags saying, hey, look, this floor price has a ton of possibility to move. If you see these kind of techniques people use, it's potentially a green flag for you to get in to this collection and potentially get out during these volume spikes when these announcements and news things come out. So look, I'm not saying these are the best ways to go about your NFT project. I'm not saying it's the best way to make sure that your NFT project has longevity. What I am saying is, at least in the short term, these are volume makers. These are catalysts in the Web3 ecosystem that pushes volume, that gets people to buy on secondary, that gets people to be interested, that gets people to wonder about what is the airdrop? When is the snapshot? What am I going to get if I stake and earn this coin? What is going to be on the marketplace, etc., etc., etc. All right, so you take into account Doxed founder, attention, passion, engagement, and understanding of Web3 catalysts and culture. It really just boils down to your risk assessment and also your overall bag, right? So not everyone has $5,000 to invest in an NFT. I'm not blind to that. That's a ton of money, but you can use these strategies and you can use this list to help your future investments. You can kind of just cross-check and compare some of these notes and say, okay, these has 3 out of 5. So potentially there's short-term value here as me and an investor for a potential flip or potential just maybe medium to long-term hold. These I think are valuable and you really don't want to miss stuff like this. So after you mint and all this stuff happens and let's say the floor price ends up rocketing, what do you do next? And it's really just based on your risk assessment, right? So do you sell 1? Do you sell 2? How many did you mint? Do you sell all of them? Do you just dump your bag? What do you do? We'll talk about that. I'll also show the chart and I'll show you what I ended up doing in this video to hopefully give you guys some insight as to my thought process and what went along for me deciding to sell all of mine. All right, so on the screen right now, we're going to be looking at NFT nerds, the floor price, the volume, and everything that happened post mint. So you purchased this collection and then about 20, 30 days later, you could claim it. And so during during that claiming period, these NFTs are getting listed onto OpenSea and starting to appear on OpenSea, and that's when kind of volume starts. So what ended up happening in this collection, as you can see on Nerds here, it actually ended up completely dumping right off the rip. So, you know, some people I think got pre-sale links for as low as $500 per NFT. My group got a pre-sale link for $1,000 per NFT because we were kind of late to the party. Regardless, these ended up pretty much dumping. I think it went as low as 0.33 here, which might have been one of the lowest sales. So 0.33 ETH at the time was well below what I had purchased it per NFT for. And so I was looking at these sales and listings come in and saying, oh my God, I'm getting dumped on right now. I'm potentially going to lose $5,000. But I went through my list and my conviction rose, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hold. Look, this guy has a good head on his shoulders. He has a ton of social media attention. He understands Web3 catalysts. I'm going to hold. I'm not going to capitulate here and be the guy selling for a loss right off the rip. And lo and behold, volume started to pick up. Exactly what I've talked about earlier in this video started to happen, where Ryan started to talk about it on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and YouTube Shorts and YouTube long form and podcast, etc. And volume just exploded. And there was sales for well over 5, 6, 7 ETH. There was a bunch of sales for above 3 ETH. And this has basically lasted for weeks. So overall, it was a great investment. And what I ended up doing is I ended up holding through this rocket period of above 3 ETH because I was like, oh my God, listings are so low and there's all this attention and there's this marketplace coming up and Snapshot, etc. But one thing I want you guys to note is when it comes to snapshots and airdrops and staking and all these different announcements, is it's kind of just a sell the news, buy the rumor type scenario where what you can see is this is the FOMO, right? For the snapshot, for the staking, for everything, all the announcements that were coming up, the post-mint hype, and then things just started to cool off. And, you know, some announcements were made and the staking went live and the marketplace went live and the snapshot happened, etc. And then all of a sudden we were below 2 ETH, etc. And just recently there was like a big sweep and whatever, but I'm not involved in the project anymore. So I haven't really been paying that much attention. But for me, I sold basically all 5 of my NFTs that I minted for $5,000 for about 2.7 to 2.5 ETH each. So I walked away with about 14 Ethereum at the time, which was about $22,000, $23,000 for my $5,000 investment. So a huge come up, right? A lot of money initially invested, but how else do you turn $5,000 into $25,000 only, 72 hours later? So you have to be able to get in these investments at the right time and then be able to have the conviction and investment thesis and investment strategy and understanding of NFT catalysts and volume to pull out and sell when the time comes. So if you combine all 5 of my tips above, plus the understanding of Web3 catalysts and volume and how airdrops and snapshots work and how people like to buy into those and when they like to sell those, you could really get good at timing these markets, and you're not always going to get it right. Like I sold most of mine between 2.7 and 2.5 ETH, but I could have sold for over 3 ETH, but it's just not how it works. And you really can't get hung up on that. As long as you've made money, you haven't lost. You can't lose if you make money, right? So overall, it was the right decision for me. And overall, it was a great investment. So once again, I would like to stress this is not an endorsement on Tykes. I have already minted the collection and I have already sold my collection weeks ago, and I'm just making this video now. So whether or not you look into the project and you decide to buy it now is 100% up to you. And I implore you to do your own research. I think Ryan's a great guy. I think he makes great content. But once again, this is not an endorsement or a sponsored video or anything like that. It's a way to show you guys my mentality and my thoughts around buying a collection, why I sold it, why I bought it, why I minted it, why I decided to spend $5,000, why I decided to sell it for $20,000 when who knows, it could go to $100,000. I just want you guys to have a peek into my brain for someone who's been in this space for almost 2 years now. So you can kind of learn and make your own decisions from there. I also want to stress this is not a foolproof strategy, right? So like NFT collections come and go, and a lot of these collections do have and do employ a lot of these techniques, and they really don't do anything, and they just kind of fizzle out over time, and nothing matters with this collection anymore, and the attention moves on, and people just don't care anymore. And that's just the reality of NFTs. It's a very fast moving space. Attention is everything. And so even more to invest and potentially hold into founders and collections that have large followings, that have activity and passion around what they're trying to build. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Quick plug, my Discord has, I want to say about 10 spots open. So if you're looking to get involved with a group that does a ton of whitelists, that has some great community members, we've got some really cool stuff coming for the group with a PFP and artwork and stuff. So I'm excited for the future of Vinland. Obviously, it's my group. It's not cheap. cheap, but it's also an incredibly small group of experienced investors, and I think it has a ton of value for people looking to get involved in the NFT and Web3 space and explore it with confidence, and also get access to private videos that I make and access to my portfolio and ask me questions, etc. So really quick plug for my Discord, link in the description below. If you guys like these videos, hit that like button, notification bell, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something, and hope you guys can use some of these tips to help you invest better, smarter, and faster in collections in the future from now on. I'll see you guys in the very next video. Peace.